Monday, the 19th day of July 2021. Huge thanks for taking the rendezvous. It's in the house on My Media Prime Television, that show that tackles societal ill with the goal of, stepping everything up with the goal of bringing a change. We elevate, we construct, and we build. Every person who follows this program, you definitely go back home with something. In the house, we talk everything from politics to religion to love and what have you. Join the conversation on our Facebook channel. The handle is My Media Prime Television. We're definitely going to display our telephone number for you who want to participate. WhatsApp and SMS messages are welcome, and Facebook comments as well. So like, comment, and share. In the house has stories lot to keep you entertained, cooking, gossip, and a lifestyle, plus our COVID-19 updates. Don't go anywhere as I do introduce our beautiful, gorgeous panelists this beautiful day of the Lord. We have a fun Quinta in the house. It's the Rasta for me. Good morning, Quinta.
Good morning, Eileen.
Are you blushing?
I have a right to blush, Eileen.
Happy Monday.
Thank you. Happy start of the week.
Thank you very much.
It's going to be a fruitful week. Good morning to you all, ladies, and good morning to you all televiewers of My Media Prime. Yes, this is In the House, your favorite talk show. I always love calling it favorite because here we tackle society. We tackle all those ills people do indoors, people do in the hiding, thinking that those out there will never see them. And today we're talking something special. It's holidays, and we have to talk something related to holidays. It affects the society. It has advantages and it has disadvantages. So if you're just joining us, this is My Media Prime Television, and yes, this is In the House. It's going to be 1 hour and 30 minutes of entertainment, information, and education. So just go to our Facebook page. You can like, you can comment, and you can share. Stay with us.
Quinta, we're definitely going to hear a lot from you on the show this day. We have Gladys Bomotongina in the building as well. She looks amazing. Starting the week on a very beautiful, lovely footing. Good morning, Gladys.
Good morning, Eileen.
How are you?
I'm doing great, we thank God.
Thank you for respecting the rendezvous. To
be
here
for sure.
as a panelist of In the House.
It's always a pleasure to be on this set, because you're participating in the change.
Yeah.
It's good to work, but it's also good to add your own to make sure that our environment is better.
Yeah.
It's very important. Me, I like it.
I love it.
Bonjour à vous qui nous regardez, bienvenue à la maison. C'est parti pour 1h30. Je sais qu'aujourd'hui c'est public holiday. Oui,
oh,
c'est
yes.
férié. Voilà. Donc, il y a plus de personnes qui sont scotchées à nous regarder ce matin. Oui, parce que nous allons vous divertir. C'est vrai que nous allons vous informer. Nous allons aussi vous divertir. Donc, sur ce, n'allez pas rester connectés. Comme Quinta a dit, c'est une semaine qui s'annonce bénie. Alors, restez bénis.
Ah ouais, you said it all. We are observing a public holiday in Cameroon, yes, ahead of the feast of the Tabaski. That's the feast of the ram where Muhammad had to sacrifice Ishmael, his son. But God said, no, I'll give you more blessings by you using a ram. And that's why we are observing this day. It's not the day, it's tomorrow. So ahead of that, because the day falls between two public holidays, our Prezi signed a communique that people should rest. The last beauty in the house is Audrey Zatsa, looking gorgeous as usual. Welcome to In the House, Audrey.
Thank you, Eileen Sama. Good morning.
It feels amazing to have you on In the House.
Exactly. I feel equally blessed and honored to be on the program, on the show today. Bonjour à vous, fidèles téléspectateurs. C'est une nouvelle journée. C'est un lundi matin, comme vous pouvez le constater. Eh bien, nous allons à In the House aborder des sujets qui minent la société, comme tous les jours d'ailleurs, je suppose.
Ah ouais.
Voilà, donc à In the House, je suis, vu que c'est une émission bilingue, c'est la raison pour laquelle je parle en français ce matin, et j'espère que nos différents auditeurs ou alors nos différents ceux qui nous suivent peuvent écouter ou peuvent comprendre le français ce matin. Voilà, donc à In the House, comme je le disais tantôt, une émission qui aborde différents sujets, et aujourd'hui je pense qu'on parlera des enfants de la rue, ou alors des enfants qui pendant les vacances s'adonnent à des activités, des ventes précisément dans les rues. Voilà, donc n'hésitez pas, mesdames, messieurs, à envoyer vos différentes contributions sur nos différentes plateformes, précisément Facebook, In the House, My Media Prime. Voilà.
Thank you very much, Audrey. Although you're already doing my job for me, but it's all right. Today we are going to talk about children, like she said. Yes, they are on holidays, and yes, since they've been on holidays, we really haven't focused on them. It's not like we forgot about you guys, okay? We always have you guys right here in our heart, and we think about you every blessed day. And the parents taking care of all these kids, we say kudos to you for the great job you're doing. But then it's a societal ill, I can put it like that, and with the rise of this particular societal ill, we are focusing on children today. So we say with the rise in child abuse, you know, should children be allowed to hug, or is it necessary for children to hug during the holidays? Yes, you know how this person, that person, this mother has been crying about their children being sodomized, their children being raped, abused, molested sexually, and this happens sometimes when they go out there to do this petty trading, or as we can call it, hawk, to sell one item or the other during the holidays. They are packed right now on our streets, and sometimes they are just too young, you know. Should we really expose our kids to these vultures, as we consider it really risky on this during this holiday period, you know, with the rise in child abuse? Gladys, I'm going to hand the microphone over to you to translate for our French family.
Ok, effectivement, aujourd'hui on parle de la surveillance d'abus sur les enfants. Avec la surveillance d'abus sur les enfants, est-ce qu'il est nécessaire de les envoyer vendre dans les sociétés pendant ces grandes vacances? Donc, avec la surveillance d'abus sur les enfants, est-il nécessaire de les envoyer vendre dans les rues pendant ces grandes vacances? Effectivement, on a beaucoup remarqué que les enfants sont les victimes au jour le jour des personnes adultes, des personnes matures, peut-être parce qu'ils sont naïfs, peut-être parce que ces enfants-là n'ont pas de protection, pas arriver à se protéger elles-mêmes. Donc aujourd'hui, on se pose cette question, est-ce qu'il est vraiment nécessaire de les renvoyer dans les rues pour vendre? Aussi longtemps que nos sociétés ont changé, parce que ce n'est plus comme avant. Avant, quand même, c'était pas tous les jours, c'était pas constant. Mais au jour d'aujourd'hui, on peut se rendre compte que chaque jour, il y a un enfant qui se fait violenter, chaque jour, il y a un enfant qui se fait violer, chaque jour, il y a un enfant qui se fait abuser. Donc, avec cela, est-ce qu'il est nécessaire vraiment de les envoyer dans les rues pour vendre? C'est de ça qu'on parle ce matin. Je sais que vous êtes concernés parce qu'il y a beaucoup de parents qui, ce matin, ont déjà envoyé leurs enfants vendre dans les rues. Oui, parce qu'on sait que demain, c'est la Tabaski. Donc, il y a des parents qui ont déjà envoyé leurs enfants vendre dans les rues, et on se pose la question, est-il nécessaire? Encore que on a une célébration qui s'annonce demain. Donc, il y a beaucoup de choses qui peuvent se passer.
Merci beaucoup, Gladys. When you check our markets, when you check our street, especially in big towns, big cities like Douala, Yaoundé, Bafoussam, Bamenda, Boya, Limbe, you see these children carrying one item or the other, maybe granite, maybe pear, maybe sugar cane, maybe mangoes, and they are hawking. Do you think it's necessary with the rise in child abuse? Send your contributions, and we are definitely going to read all of them right here on the platform. Don't move from more, so let's take a musical bite. When we come back, the discussion starts.
L'homme n'est rien sans les hommes. L'homme vient dans les mains des hommes et s'en va dans les mains des hommes. Moi, je ne ferai jamais confiance à un baiser qui n'a pas de cicatrice. Lito Longo. Il veut comment? Alors, mesdames, mesdemoiselles et messieurs, permettez-moi de vous chanter ma nouvelle chanson. Ma chanson s'appelle simplement On ne vous a pas laissé. Tapez les mains tout le monde. Si quelqu'un épouse ton ex, ce n'est pas parce qu'il est plus beau que toi. Non, tu l'as seulement laissé. pour ce soir, ce n'est pas parce qu'il a trop d'argent. Non, tu l'as seulement laissé. Doser. Parce que si toi-même tu as acheté toute la boisson, est-ce qu'il devait trouver quelque chose au comptoir alors? Écoutez la chanson Sigua. Ce n'est pas compliqué. Je chante d'abord, après vous allez chanter avec moi. Écoutez. On vous laisse l'argent, vous venez acheter tous les pitacolas. Pourquoi? On ne vous a pas laissé. C'est vous qui allez répondre comme ça, les amis. À vous maintenant, je lance. On vous laisse des bonnes épouses, vous venez discuter les waka. Avec nous, pourquoi? Ouais. Est-ce que ça va? Doucement, 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 doucement. Hey. Hey. Dosez. On vous laisse le whisky, vous interdisez qu'on nous fabrique les fighters. Pourquoi? Donc nous aussi on ne doit pas boire quelque chose. Parce qu'on a 100 francs. Ce n'est pas normal. On vous laisse les cigares, vous venez discuter l'osa. Avec nous bourgeois. C'est comment même? C'est comment? C'est comment? C'est comment même? Alino! Hey, Dosé! On vous laisse les shawarma, vous venez discuter les noyaux. Avec nous pourquoi? Achetez les shawarma. C'est votre niveau. Ça coûte 1000 francs. Laissez-nous les noyaux, c'est notre niveau. Parce que c'est 500 francs. Chantez comme ça tout le monde. Je n'entends rien. Les gésiers de Boubougnébel. Le maître de pistache de Bolofaye. La bonne cola Bafiao. Le bitacola de Bameda. Les verres blancs de l'Est Cameroun. Et vous ne tapez même pas les mains, pourquoi? Ça vient de commencer, doser, doser. Oya Fogade, Koudou et ça, c'est l'Igatua. Fog Bio, Santa Barbara, Tiga Foldogo. Fane Topiga, non, Miss Borre, vous ce moment premier, deuxième, Fane Topiga, non, Miss Borre, vous ce moment premier, deuxième. On est ici à Titi Garage, à Titi. Est-ce que ça va? Voilà. Dosez, dosez. On vous laisse le bureau, vous venez remplir la prison, pourquoi? Dosez. Les bureaux, c'est pour ceux qui sont allés à l'école, comme Yves et Coman. Les prisons, c'est pour les bandits comme nous. Ne volez pas l'argent du pays pour venir nous saturer dans les prisons. Nous sommes déjà assez nombreux. Et vous n'applaudissez même pas. On vous laisse l'âge. Vous venez discuter les petites filles. Avec nous, pourquoi? C'est comment? C'est comment? C'est comment? C'est comment? On vous laisse les cuisses. Vous venez discuter les gessiers. Avec nous, pourquoi? Est-ce que ça va là-bas? On vous laisse saboter les lions, vous venez jubiler la victoire. Avec nous, pourquoi? Après, vous allez voler les couvercles et les mamies de vos mamans pour taper dans les rues. Les enfants vous disent. On ne vous a pas laissé. On ne vous a pas laissé. Merci, merci.
Beautiful, and that Desmond, thank you very much. Made us dancing, and we enjoyed it in the studio. Hope you did as well back at home. Just a reminder that, yeah, those little things in life that are really are pleasurable, really that matter. Sometimes let's not take it for granted, okay? Let's make the best of what we can and what we have. All right, coming back to today's topic, we are talking about children hawking during the holidays, and we are asking the question, is it necessary? When we look at the number of cases of child abuse, almost every day, at least 3 children are abused in this country, and in a week around 10 or more are abused, according to what the experts tell us. Now, it's a holiday, and it's that time once more where we find our children on our street as young as 6, 7, hawking around with one item or the other. Let me start with you, Quinta. Before you react to the topic, can you give us some advantages of these acts? If there weren't any advantage, no mother or father who want their child on the streets of any town, maybe in Cameroon, Africa, or elsewhere, to carry on with these activities.
Amali, you're actually very correct, because everything has an advantage and equally has disadvantages. First of all, hawking involves a movement with goods from one place to another, and you even find children moving with goods from Bonaberi right to Bonamusa, the islands. And when you think about the distance, the kilometers those children cover, you find it difficult to even say that particular aspect has advantages, but there are always advantages, because it gives the child an opportunity. It's a form of self-employment. Just doing that, a child can have some money to take care of himself during as schools resume. I remember when I was in secondary school, we had some of these classmates who used to sell granuts during holidays, and when schools resume, you really see there's a big difference between those who did not hawk during holidays and those who did hawk during holidays, during break. They were the first to leave the class. They go to get a lot of things, and you will just rely on money maybe from that. Okay, you take this 100 francs, you buy gâteau and eat during break. You see there's a huge difference, because that child has the money they worked, they can use to buy some of those things. Island, it's a form of self-employment, and it makes the child understand the need for going out there to get a job. I mean, when you grow up in a situation where you're always at home, your parents take care of everything, when you get to a certain age, it becomes difficult for you to even sit and say, maybe you've graduated from the university and there's no job, because you don't have the background of hawking, you don't have the background of doing any business. You just sit at home and you're waiting, okay, let government employ, let this. But for a child who started at a very tender age, I always want to cite my Bamileke brothers. When you move around street, you see small children, very young, they carry trays and they are selling. I'm like, wow, these children, they already know that, no, this is business, this is life. If there is no employment from government, I can employ myself, because I started at a very tender age. So it gives them an opportunity for employment. Equally, moving from place to place, it requires very little capital. So those children, you need just money. Some sell lettuce. You need just small money to get those things, compared to other businesses, huge businesses, where you can really sit and you must rely on somebody. Maybe you want to grow, but with these children, the money that you even give them to during school period, you give them money to buy a few things. They decide to save, and when it's holidays, they take that money and they start up those, they invest in that small business. I didn't equally improve the child's IQ. When you do business during holiday, you take, for example, a child who stays at home doing nothing. Most children who stay at home, you hardly find them reading their books. You hardly find them studying. They mostly watch series, they watch cartoons and stuff like that. But a child who did business, who hawked during holidays, as you're hawking, you do arithmetic. The small addition plus subtraction. When someone wants to buy something, you need to reimburse the person, and it helps that child. The brain is always active. So those are some of the advantages of child hogging. But Eileen, the advantages won't kill the fact that it's very dangerous. It's a dangerous activity. You'll be coming back to that aspect as the program runs.
All right. Thank you very much, Quinta. You spoke well there. It's very, very dangerous. And if you can listen to Quinta, she's of the opinion that it's really, really not necessary. Let's hear from Audrey. Audrey, before you react to today's topic, do you think that parents who let their children, especially the very young ones, to hawk are irresponsible?
Aileen, je ne dirais pas complètement qu'ils sont irresponsables, parce que chaque parent a une raison pour laquelle il envoie son enfant dans la rue. Il y a beaucoup de parents, pour beaucoup en tout cas, c'est une sorte d'initiation familiale, une sorte de quelque chose qu'on a l'habitude de faire dans quelque chose qu'on a même l'habitude de faire dans une sorte de tradition familiale, parce que entrer en 6e par exemple, c'est une sorte de devenir mature. Ça initie l'enfant au commerce et tout. Donc pour beaucoup de parents qui envoient leurs enfants dans la rue, ce n'est pas que c'est la maltraitance pour moi. Honnêtement, c'est vrai qu'on a le gouvernement qui condamne ces actes-là.
Right, because they seem to be transferring their responsibilities to these children to work and bring money to take care of themselves.
Moi, honnêtement, Aileen, au jour d'aujourd'hui, je ne vois pas ça comme la maltraitance de l'enfant. Ça dépend. Okay. Après, c'est vrai qu'il y a des enfants peut-être qui arrivent dans une famille, qui ne sont peut-être pas issus de cette famille-là, mais qui arrivent dans la famille et du coup, pour les maltraiter, on les envoie en rue, dans la route. Là, oui, on peut dire que c'est la maltraitance. Maintenant, il y a des enfants qui sont issus de cette famille-là, et le parent trouve que, comme Fonquinte le disait tout à l'heure, le parent trouve que non, faire un business dehors pour cet enfant va un peu augmenter sa compréhension du business, le monde du business et tout ça. Donc je ne trouve pas vraiment que c'est quelque chose de négatif, pas sur tous les plans en tout cas.
D'accord. So you think it's necessary for them to do it?
Yeah, sometimes to an extent it's necessary.
All right. Thank you, Audrey. Maybe you add something later as we discuss. On Gladys, you're going to tell us the disadvantages. Yes, I know your domain is very rich. Disadvantages of children hawking during the holidays. Because, like she said, some parents do it to elevate children, to make them hardworking, not that they are transferring their responsibilities. Yeah. But at the end of the day, do we really look at it as it being really worth it? Is it something that we should really encourage vis-a-vis some of these shortcomings accompanying these activities?
I'll give my view. Okay. Let me give the
disadvantages. All right.
Because my view may not be necessary. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing. La première chose que on peut relever lorsqu'on parle des désavantages de ce travail des enfants là, c'est le risque des accidents. Parce qu'il y a beaucoup de risques dans tout ça.
Yeah.
On peut voir des petits enfants de 4 ans, parce que c'est toujours la tranche d'âge, 4 ans jusqu'à 11 ans, qui sont un peu plus à risque, parce que déjà 12 ans, 13 ans, 14 ans, ils savent déjà, ils connaissent déjà, ils peuvent déjà prendre soin d'eux-mêmes. Maintenant, cette tranche d'âge-là, de petits enfants-là, qui se retrouvent dans les rues, à peut-être devoir vendre les lotus, à devoir vendre peut-être des arachides, à devoir vendre des bonbons et tout, se retrouvent parfois à devoir faufiler entre des véhicules. Et nous tous, on connaît comment les gars conduisent au Cameroun.
Let me just add, when you're traveling around Makenene, I don't know, any stop of the road, somewhere, from one region to the next, do you see the kind of children on the highway selling some of these items?
Of the road,
yes.
The cars are there, and I'm inside the car,
and you're scared.
Get into the bus, and the driver even
takes them to a certain distance before dropping them off.
By when
the bus has gone, is moving.
It's quite,
struggling to get down.
Ça fait peur. Mais pour ces enfants-là, ça ne les fait pas peur, parce que ce sont des enfants. Voilà, ils n'arrivent pas à mesurer les risques. C'est pourquoi nous sommes parents, et c'est à nous de mesurer les risques à leur place. Voilà. Donc du coup, tu peux te retrouver avec ces petits enfants-là qui se faufilent parfois, parce que là tu parles même des lieux de comment on appelle ça, des routes nationales. Mais lorsque tu entres dans la ville, tu te rends compte que avec les mototaxis que nous avons qui pilulent de partout, et puis tu vois des petits enfants en train de vouloir se faufiler là, on se retrouve malheureusement souvent avec beaucoup d'enfants accidentés. Donc c'est un risque que on peut éviter. Au regard de l'âge de l'enfant, on peut essayer d'éviter de se retrouver dans ce problème-là. Maintenant, il y a un autre désavantage, c'est le risque d'enlèvement.
Kidnapping.
On a beaucoup d'enfants qui se font enlever, il y a beaucoup d'enfants qui disparaissent. On ne sait pas où ces enfants sont, mais c'est parce que peut-être ils se sont retrouvés à un mauvais endroit, au mauvais moment, et ils se sont retrouvés kidnappés par des gens. Si tu vas à Deido, peut-être vers 19h, 20h, mais qu'est-ce que je raconte même? 22h, 23h,
il y a toujours les enfants
là-bas en train de vendre des arachides,
Oui.
en train de vendre des lotus,
Oui.
en train de vendre des bonbons. Le pire, c'est que tu les retrouves aussi en train de vendre du whisky et des cigarettes.
Même dans les bars.
Donc, c'est tellement risqué. Ils peuvent se retrouver peut-être dans des endroits où il n'y a pas assez de lumière. Une personne qui avait ses projets peut-être de kidnapper pour faire des rites,
Rituals.
kidnappe cet enfant et pas faire ses rites. Donc, du coup, c'est un autre risque qu'on peut éviter. Il y a aussi le fait, un autre désavantage qui est la déception. Ça,
Ok.
c'est plus interne
Yeah.
dans les enfants. C'est
Ouais.
plus interne, c'est moral, c'est psychique. Donc, lorsque l'enfant va vendre, dans sa tête, c'est qu'il doit vendre, il doit faire le profit. Il faut qu'il arrive à tout vendre. Et lorsqu'il arrive à un moment donné qu'il n'a pas vendu, ça commence à lui mettre mal. Ça le traumatise.
Ouais.
Donc, il commence à être anxieux, il commence à être traumatisé sur des faits qui ne devaient même pas le soucier à cet âge-là. Je ne sais pas si on se comprend un peu.
Ouais.
Donc, du coup, étant tout petit, l'enfant commence déjà à être traumatisé par la peur de ne pas vendre, la peur de ne pas faire le profit,
Ouais.
la peur de ne pas être à la hauteur,
Oui.
la peur de ne pas réussir. Et c'est pas bon. Parce que lorsque l'enfant commence à grandir avec ce genre de pensée, ça affecte sa vie même en grandissant. Donc, même en grandissant, il aura toujours l'impression que non, je ne peux pas y arriver, je n'arrive jamais à faire, même si je vais vendre,
Yeah.
ça ne va pas donner.
Yeah.
Pourquoi? Parce qu'en enfance, il avait ce problème-là, il avait ce défi.
I had that problem, Gladys. Let me be honest with you
Okay.
guys. I was a kind who wanted to do it, but my mom would not let me do it.
Okay.
And I felt like she was leaving me out while I saw other children going out there to do, sell the ground. I loved selling. I've always liked business. I'm business oriented. And as young as I was, I wanted her to, but she will not let me, and I will not understand some of these reasons until when
Yeah.
I
Because
became
it might
matured.
traumatize you.
Yes, of
And
course.
when you are grown, you are like, okay, I cannot do business. I cannot sell
Yeah.
because I may not sell it,
Yeah.
and I may not do profit. No, business is not part of me.
Your business is not your thing.
Yeah, yeah. Et si tu rentres dans notre communauté aujourd'hui, tu vas te rendre compte qu'il y a beaucoup de jeunes qui ont ce problème-là,
Yeah.
qui vont te dire que non, le business c'est pas mon truc en fait.
Yes.
Pourquoi? Parce que étant tout jeunes, ils ont eu une mauvaise expérience. Ça les a traumatisés. Ils
Oui.
n'ont pas encore guéri de ça. Donc du coup, ils ne peuvent même pas. Et pour eux, c'est no go zone.
Mhm.
Oui, si je fais le business, en fait, je vais dépenser mon argent et je n'aurai jamais le profit.
Yeah.
Et lorsque tu as déjà cette idée, c'est automatique, tu vas pas vendre. Parce que c'est déjà là, tu as déjà dessiné ça et ça t'apporte les résultats que tu as dessinés. Donc du coup, ce n'est pas avantageux d'exposer les enfants à ce genre de traumatisme, à ce genre de stress étant tout jeune.
Ouais.
Voilà, parce que à la fin, ils peuvent arriver à être des gars qui veulent juste rester au bureau.
Yeah.
Or, on est dans un pays où seulement rester au bureau, ça peut pas mettre le pain sur la table.
Ouais.
Donc du coup, il faut diversifier.
Ouais.
Donc c'est pourquoi peut-être beaucoup de personnes au jour d'aujourd'hui du côté de l'Ouest ont cet avantage-là parce que ça fait partie de leur culture.
Ah ouais.
Oui, ça fait partie de leur vie. Nous, on peut voir ça entre guillemets comme si c'est mauvais et tout ça et tout. Mais ils ont leurs raisons pour lesquelles ils voient ça positivement.
Yeah.
Maintenant, comme je parlais tantôt, Aileen, il y a un autre gros désavantage qui est le fait que lorsqu'on voit ces petits-enfants vendre peut-être les whisky ou les cigarettes, il y a des risques qu'eux-mêmes ils se retrouvent en train de les consommer.
True.
Parce que si tu vois un enfant qui vend les biscuits, à un moment donné, il va s'arrêter, il va manger un
Il va
biscuit.
manger, c'est normal.
Si tu vois un enfant qui vend les bonbons, il va s'arrêter un moment, il va
sucer.
sucer un bonbon.
Oui.
Et si tu le vois qui vend, je sais pas moi trop quoi, la cigarette, il vend le
It's
whisky,
dangerous.
un jour, il
You
aura
want
faim,
to try.
il va dire que maintenant les gars prennent souvent le whisky, là ils boivent.
Yeah,
Peut-être
how
que-
does it
peut-être
feel
que
like?
ça les rassasie et tout.
Yeah.
Lui aussi va essayer. On a vu beaucoup d'enfants qui au jour d'aujourd'hui fument, sont des enfants qui ont vendu la cigarette. Ils ont vendu la cigarette. Donc,
Yeah,
en
it
vendant
became a
ces
normal
cigarettes,
thing
c'est
to
devenu
them.
quelque chose de normal. Pour eux, c'est normal que quelqu'un fume et tout ça. Donc, c'est normal qu'ils se retrouvent en train de fumer.
Yeah.
Et c'est un danger parce que, ça les rend malades. Ils sont encore très jeunes. Et ça prend des risques, des proportions où l'enfant peut se retrouver peut-être à vouloir consommer des drogues plus fortes. D'où le problème qu'on se retrouve au jour d'aujourd'hui au Cameroun, où on a
Yeah,
des enfants,
drug
les
abuse.
jeunes qui sont en plein aux drogues.
Ouais.
Et on ne sait pas, en vérité, on ne sait pas quoi faire. On ne sait pas quoi faire pour résoudre ce problème-là. Mais je crois que l'administration, eux, ils savent quoi faire pour pour résoudre le problème parce que définitivement, ces drogues-là entrent par nos poches.
Ah ouais.
Voilà. Donc, comme désavantage, Aileen, voilà ce que je peux relever entre autres.
Okay, and now your opinion. Should we let children, is it necessary to let children hawk during holidays?
Ok, maintenant, comme je disais tantôt, Aileen, ça dépend de l'âge de l'enfant. Ça dépend de l'âge de l'enfant. Si l'enfant est encore trop petit, moi, je ne trouve pas ça nécessaire.
Ok.
Parce qu'un enfant de 7 ans, 8 ans, 9 ans, 10 ans, 11 ans,
Vraiment,
c'est
young.
trop jeune.
Yeah.
Oui, c'est trop jeune. Il n'a même pas encore atteint l'âge de la puberté, qu'il est déjà en route pour chercher. Il ne sait même pas en fait ce qu'il fait. Il
Yeah.
ne sait même pas en fait ce qu'il fait sur la route.
If you just throw it, granules or corn, they come to pick. Yeah.
That's just what the child knows. A cup of granite is 100 francs times 2 should be 200 francs. That's just what the child knows. You don't even know if that child can walk across the road. You don't even know if that child can be in danger, and maybe you throw the tray and you escape for your life. Because when you give a child a tray of granite, that granite is more precious than that child's life. If a bike is approaching and for the child to drop the tray, no, she prefers the bike to knock her down than for the tray. You still see children holding.
Yeah, the worst of it is when parents as well threaten these children. You know, giving them a task, giving them some product or commodity to go and sell, and then you tell the child that if you don't finish selling, man will see a
That's
food
why you
for
find
us.
children out
Can
there
you
at 10
imagine?
p.m., 11 p.m. They're still
Yeah.
with
I
some
remember
funny items
one
out
day,
there, like
my mother sent us on appelle ça comment, holiday.
Yeah.
C'était les grandes vacances. Elle nous a envoyés au village. Et ma tante, elle avait l'habitude d'envoyer les gens vendre la banane.
Okay.
Donc du coup, elle aussi, elle m'a donné mon plateau de bananes que j'allais vendre.
Ouais.
Aileen, je suis arrivée au Carrefour, je savais pas quoi faire avec le plateau.
You just carried it on your head.
Non, je me suis assise, j'ai commencé à manger.
Guys, how can you do that? Like,
So you ate the product you were supposed to sell.
J'ai commencé à manger. Maintenant, ma cousine avec qui je suis allée, elle a vendu sa banane.
Okay.
Donc du coup, elle est venue, elle me trouver mon plateau de banane de mes épluchures. Elle me demande que tu as vendu combien. Elle dit que non, moi je n'ai rien vendu.
you decided to turn yourself to a monkey that day.
Non mais attends, le prochain jour, elle m'a pu envoyer. Parce
Ouais.
qu'elle a compris que celle-là,
Non, c'est pas pour toi.
That's
C'est
not
pas
your
pour
thing.
toi.
elle ne comprend rien à tout ça. Donc du coup, pour moi, ça dépend effectivement de l'âge de l'enfant.
Ouais.
Si l'enfant a peut-être 13 ans, 14 ans, connaît déjà quand même que, ok, je dois traverser la route. Quand je traverse la route, je regarde à gauche, à droite. Quand je veux traverser la route, mon plateau de bananes ou bien mon seau d'œufs ne vaut pas mieux que ma vie. Mais si tu envoies un tout petit enfant qui ne connaît même pas traverser la route, qu'est-ce que tu t'attends à quoi? Forcément qu'il y ait un accident. C'est vrai que même avec les grandes personnes, il y a des accidents, mais avec l'âge quand même, ça peut aider.
Ouais.
Donc, pour clôturer, Aileen, je vais dire ceci, c'est que en réalité, chacun élève son enfant comme ça marche dans sa culture.
Ouais.
Au jour d'aujourd'hui, on applaudit les banquiers parce qu'ils ont inculqué le business à leurs enfants très tôt. Déjà très jeunes, on leur a inculqué le business. Mais ce n'est pas un business à risque qu'il faut aller seulement dans la rue. On voit les banquiers qui ont les boutiques. Ils forment leurs enfants dans leur boutique. Comment est-ce que tu vends dans ma boutique? Là, c'est encore mieux. Mais si c'est pour envoyer dans la rue, pour moi, c'est compliqué, oui, c'est dangereux. C'est vrai que la seule personne qui protège vraiment les enfants, c'est Dieu, mais il ne faut pas aussi prendre les risques parce que Dieu va protéger. Donc, il faut que nous-mêmes, on ait nos responsabilités et que Dieu fasse sa part. Donc, c'est aussi simple que ça.
Okay. It's that necessary evil that we must accommodate. So as we accommodate this evil, we are going to propose solutions right here on the set. Let me start with you, Quinta. Quinta, what will you advise parents who let their children to go hawk? To tell them, what should these children know as we look at these disadvantages, these risk factors that affect our kids?
First of all, Aileen, I'm not for sending kids out there for hawking because the society has become so dangerous. When you send that child out there, so many things can happen. There are so many options. As a parent, it depends now on where you're located. If you can just get a tray and maybe you put the items right in front of the house, it's still another way of training that child into the field of business. And Aileen, as a parent, as Gladys earlier said, parents have a way of bringing up their children. If you think it's preferable you send them out there to hawk, that is okay, though I'm not for that idea of sending a kid out there to do hawking, but you should consider the child's age.
Yeah.
If the child is below 10, maybe even below 12, keep that child at home and tell the child to do other stuff at home, maybe cooking, maybe cleaning. The child will still learn. It's not a must that when the child goes out there to do business, the child will learn. So you can teach that child at home depending on the age. And it equally depends, as we're talking about age, that child's age should correspond what you are giving that child to carry.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot take a child of 10 years, 8 years, and you're giving her a bucket containing two trays of eggs. 60 eggs you are giving the child of 8 years to carry to the market.
Yeah.
And some parents actually do that. You see a child, she's very small down there, but a tray of granite on that child's head, God, you cannot even believe what your eyes are seeing. So you take into consideration the child's age and ensure that the child's age matches what she is selling. And equally, it depends on the environment.
Right.
Take, for example, Douala. Douala is a big town, and the good, the bad, the ugly, everything happens right here. So if you have your child, it's preferable you do a makeshift structure right in front of your house. People just need, a French man just needs somewhere they sell bread, maybe kanda, sauce, and you put that thing right there. The child will still sell and have money.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're if somewhere, Douala, Yaoundé, these big cities, keep those kids at home because it's really very dangerous out there. The number of motor taxi men in Douala outweigh the number of
Passengers.
and you know how reckless those
They are.
people are. It's really very and it depends too on the item you should give that child. You cannot give a child below 15 cigarettes, condoms, and whiskey to sell. You can give that child biscuits, the those bonbon. When the worst gets to the worst, the child can even remove one biscuit and eat. But imagine a child selling whiskey when that child feels hungry. Anyway, people buy whiskey and they drink. People buy cigarettes and they smoke. Maybe they drink whiskey because whiskey is like bread. If you drink whiskey, maybe you feel awkward. Okay, so the child gets a sachet of whiskey, drinks it. When you drink the first one, it disturbs. She drinks the second, and at the end of the day, that child becomes used to drinking whiskey. Even send the child out to hawk the whiskey, she returns with no money. Oh, A went up, B, D, someone stole my items, not knowing that the child has been consuming whiskey. And just imagine some of these things come with 40% alcohol in that small sachet. Some even have up to 50% of alcohol. And take, for example, a child, you see people smoking. Wow, people smoke. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I should just try one. They try one. From one, they go to two, 3. And at the end of the day, you find a child smoking up to a packet. So as a parent, if you must send your child out there, take into consideration the child's age, the environment, what you are giving that child to hawk, and ensure that the child's age matches with what she is selling. We should avoid situations where you meet a very small baby at a very tender age carrying a very big tray. At times you buy from these kids not because you really feel like buying. You just buy out of pity.
Encourage
to
the
remove the things
child
from the tray and send the child home. When you meet some of these children here, we understand society has become so difficult. Some parents even stay at home, they don't have a job, and they use these children to work money. Most parents,
they are ashamed to go and sell.
Yeah.
They are selling children to sell.
Yeah.
like imagine you as a
Yeah.
parent, you stay at home. There are some situations where you find the mother is carrying a big bucket and the child is right beside the mom with a small bucket. That's very okay. The two of them do the business, they understand the thing together. But in a situation where you sit at home because you're shy, maybe you have your personal reasons why you wouldn't want to go out there and hawk, and you decide to send your child out there, a very dangerous society, you decide to send your child, you are the big person, you can control yourself. If a bike is approaching and it's about to knock you down, you can sacrifice the bucket and save your life. But with that child, sending that child out, most of them give instructions. If you don't finish this gâteau, if you don't finish this not, if motor one jam you, better run, keep my tray, then you come back motor jam you. When you start giving children instructions like that, and trust me, they'll go out there, and when they see a bike coming, maybe the child even run, put the tray, and then come back, okay, bike jam me. Now some mama maybe tell me that I want come up for house for go say the thing. So it's really it's a very sad situation, Aline. If we can avoid it, then we really have to avoid it.
we need to, because as parents it's our responsibility to raise our
have to
kids,
raise
to
your child.
take
You should
care
take
of
care
your
of
child and not
that
the other
child.
way around. Your child is not supposed to take care of themselves or of you when they are still minors,
very, very small.
very
children.
small. They can't cater for themselves, yet you're sending them to make money to
And Aline, you even meet some of those kids. You see
Bring
them
back
today
home.
looking very dirty. Tomorrow you see them the same dresses, the same buckets,
Yeah.
the same dirty stuff. So they even return home. Parents don't even have the
They just focus
responsibility
on
of
the
they just want
money.
to take the money. You won't even tell the child, okay, mama, you're
Go and
welcome
bathe
home,
a
go
bit.
and shower, eat something. As you saw them yesterday, you see them today, and maybe tomorrow, the same attire, the same old slipper.
Dirty
So maybe,
legs,
God, at
you
times I
know.
look at the children,
I
I'm
want
like,
to say
how did
something.
we get to
Yeah.
this
I want
point?
to say something, Eileen. Like a counsel, if
Yeah.
parents want to teach business
Mhm.
to their children,
Yeah.
I don't think it's on the street.
Okay.
It's not on the street. You can teach business to your child out of the street.
All right.
In your home, you can teach the child how to do business. Like, okay, I'll maybe allow you to sell, I don't know, granules, but in the house, like,
Yeah.
okay, you buy your granules. I used to see people doing that. Like,
Okay.
the child will be inside the house, but he have his own money that he has kept, you know. Then you go and buy the granules and come and sell inside the house.
Yeah, people come and
Yes.
buy from
or the
the
brothers and
home.
the sisters will buy
Yes,
the same granite.
within.
Then it will make profit.
Yeah.
And it will understand the same comment je vais dire,
Notion
il va
as going out
il
there
va
to hawk
comprendre
on the
cette
streets.
notion de business.
Oui.
Ce n'est pas toujours à dire que tu vas envoyer l'enfant dans la rue qui montre que tu apprends à l'enfant à faire le business.
Ouais.
Je prends un autre exemple, les Nigériens.
Ouais.
Les Nigériens ici au Cameroun, ils ont des quincailleries. Ils
Yeah.
ont des quincailleries.
Yeah.
Et dans ces quincailleries, ils ont des petits-enfants qui travaillent
Ils ont
là-bas.
toujours
Qui
les
se
enfants
forment
dans tous
là-bas, dedans.
les boutiques.
Ils se forment dedans, à l'intérieur.
Yes.
Et est-ce que ces enfants ne se forment pas? Ils se forment. Est-ce que ces enfants n'apprennent pas à faire le business? Ils apprennent à faire le business. C'est mieux d'envoyer ton enfant dans un lieu où il sera en sécurité pour apprendre le business que de l'exposer comme ça là à l'air libre. Je prends un autre exemple. Lorsqu'on va en Europe, on voit des enfants travailler pendant les grandes vacances. Mais ces enfants ne travaillent pas dans les rues, Aileen.
Yeah.
Ils ne travaillent pas dans les rues. Ils travaillent dans les usines et des endroits sécurisés. On choisit les lieux où on va envoyer ces enfants parce qu'on connaît que l'intention originelle pour que ces enfants soient en train de travailler pendant les vacances, c'est pour générer de l'argent. C'est ce qu'on connaît.
Yeah.
C'est ça en fait.
That's
C'est
the
pour
primary
générer l'argent.
goal.
Donc, ce n'est pas tellement pour apprendre à l'enfant le business, mais c'est pour générer l'argent. Donc, on sait que si cet enfant vient peut-être travailler dans cette fabrique, je sais pas moi trop quoi, je prends au pif, de chaussettes, on ne peut pas envoyer l'enfant où il y a des machines. On va peut-être envoyer l'enfant là où il faut peut-être classer, où il faut peut-être ranger, où il faut... Oui,
Yeah.
parce que on sait que l'enfant a besoin de cet âge. C'est pas n'importe quel âge d'enfant. On prend en fonction de l'âge des enfants. Comment je vais dire, on donne le travail en fonction de l'âge des enfants.
Yeah.
Donc, on ne peut pas se retrouver dans une société. Moi, je dis toujours au Cameroun, on fait toujours nos choses à exagération. Quand nous, on veut faire quelque chose, on exagère. Quand on veut copier, on ne cherche pas à copier bien.
Ouais.
On copie n'importe comment. En fait, c'est ce qui est même mal que nous on copie le plus. Donc, si nos parents au jour d'aujourd'hui veulent que leurs enfants aient une notion économique, aient une notion de vente, une notion de profit, une notion de je m'emploie, moi-même je m'auto-emploie, je n'ai pas honte de faire le business parce que c'est un problème aussi dans notre société où les gens ont honte de faire le business. Je n'ai pas honte de faire le business et tout. On peut le faire dans un endroit sécurisé. On peut le faire à la maison. On peut le faire, je ne sais pas moi trop quoi, au quartier. On n'a pas besoin d'aller hors, on n'a pas besoin d'aller, je sais pas moi
To
trop
the
quoi.
highway.
On n'a pas besoin. Si tu vends les œufs et que tu vends les œufs au quartier, est-ce que les gens ne vont pas acheter? Les gens vont acheter.
achète.
Si les gens ne vont pas t'acheter les œufs, les œufs
Chez
le
Magida.
boutiquier, pourquoi ils ne vont pas acheter chez toi? Donc, c'est mieux d'apprendre aux enfants à faire le business, mais dans des lieux sécurisés,
Confined.
que de les envoyer dans la rue.
Yeah,
Pour moi.
it's like
Voilà.
luring them to the
Oui.
ego to feed on them. Yeah. Audrey, what will you advise a mother who is so entrepreneurial and wants to pass the same entrepreneurial skills to their children? Yeah, we all know that Cameroon life is really tough and hard, like you said earlier. What will you tell this mother to impact on their child as they go out there to sell, to prevent such sad or touchy stories that we always hear at the end of the day?
Aileen, avant de répondre à ta question, j'ai envie de réitérer ici le fait que quand on parle du travail des enfants, on ne parle pas également du travail des enfants qui sont dans la rue ou qui traversent les routes, sur les routes nationales et autres. On parle également, il y a beaucoup d'enfants qui sont dans les plantations, il y a beaucoup d'enfants qui sont dans les 4 murs de différentes maisons qui sont amenés à faire la boniche, comme on dit souvent, à être des bonnes de maison.
House girl and house boys.
Il y a beaucoup d'enfants qui sont dans les usines, comme Gladys mentionnait tout à l'heure. Et j'ai envie encore de réitérer le fait que il est vrai que le travail des enfants a été condamné ou est condamné toujours jusqu'à aujourd'hui, même par les Nations Unies, par le gouvernement camerounais. Mais on constate que la plupart des enfants qui s'adonnent à de telles pratiques, ou alors les familles qui acceptent que leurs enfants aillent dans les rues, c'est justement parce que à cause de la vie, du niveau de vie, les familles qui n'arrivent forcément pas à joindre les deux bouts dans leur maison, ils se disent que bon voilà, pourquoi pas envoyer tel enfant, ainsi initier cet enfant-là au commerce et autres. Je pense que pour qu'un parent envoie son enfant dans la rue, il faudrait, comme tu posais la question tout à l'heure, il faudrait que ce parent-là puisse déjà éduquer une éducation approfondie sur les dangers qui minent la société, les dangers qui minent qui pourraient les dangers même des enfants dans la rue. Je pense que pour moi c'est vraiment le seul point sur lequel on doit mettre plus d'accent. Un parent doit éduquer son enfant à savoir, écoute, si tu vas dans la route, dans la rue, ne traverse pas la rue tout seul, ou alors allez-y en groupe, parce qu'on voit beaucoup d'enfants qui le font, qui vont vendre des trucs en groupe et autres.
Exactly.
On ne peut pas, je n'ai pas envie vraiment qu'on nous dise qu'on va bannir aujourd'hui le travail des enfants, parce que je vais vous raconter une petite anecdote. Moi, quand j'étais toute petite, ma mère tenait un cybercafé, et pendant les vacances, quand je sortais de l'internat, j'allais aider ma mère dans son cybercafé. Et c'est comme ça que j'ai été initiée aux technologies de l'information et de la communication. Tu vois que si à l'époque là, si dès mon bas âge, je n'avais pas été initiée sur un certain nombre de choses concernant peut-être l'informatique et autres, j'allais être nulle aujourd'hui. Donc j'ai été initiée de cette façon-là, et c'est comme ça qu'il y a beaucoup d'enfants aujourd'hui qui arrivent à faire tellement de choses, qui arrivent à être de grands business persons aujourd'hui, parce que, n'est-ce pas, ils ont pu effectuer des petits boulots comme ça dans la route. Et pourquoi ne pas, on parle le plus souvent quand on entend les success stories, on va toujours nous mettre en avant, oh, telle personne a vendu ceci quand il était jeune, telle personne a vendu, on va nous parler même de
photos Victor,
l'eau glacée quand il était jeune.
Young Francis and the others.
Donc pour répondre à ta question, Aileen, je pense d'abord le plus important, c'est de l'éducation concernant les dangers de la route à ces enfants-là, quel que soit l'âge qu'ils peuvent avoir, qu'on doit les éduquer de cette façon-là.
Thank you very much, Audrey. You spoke well there. Yes, we're focusing on children during holidays, and what we focused on specifically this day is them hawking on the street. Reason we pick this is because we have the rise of child abuse in our community right now. What can we do to stop these children from falling into these dangers? As I said, it seems to be a necessary evil, something that must happen, and we must do all we can. Like Audrey said, educate these children. They should know the dangers involved as well. What do you tell them when they go out to sell? Should they just cross the road haphazardly? Should they be walking into compounds to sell? Should they walk alone and sell? Some of these things, parents, you don't educate your children that when a child is being called into a room to come and sell, like the story we had, I think, in Boya last year, of the man who wanted to rape Limbe, who wanted to rape a girl who was selling eggs. He led this child right into his bedroom, and thanks to people around, he did not succeed to do what he did. So these are some of the things that we need to focus more on as well, educating these children if we must send them out there to sell. But for me, I think for the very young one, like Gladys said, it's really not advisable to send a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old out there on the streets, because we have eagles out there just waiting for chicks who are praying around so the hawk on them or feed on them. We have this reaction from Anita Enon. She says, a very nice song. Thank you very much. Children should not stop in helping their parents if that is part of their way of surviving. By the way, parents and these children should be aware of the risk and find ways to prevent any abuse from happening. They should sell in groups and carry whistles and pepper sprays. If possible, they should carry a cell phone with them or sell on one spot. Thank you very much, Anita. And I think this is pepper spray. Yeah, you can make your own pepper spray now. You can put pepper in a bottle, put some water, like a bottle of perfume. No, five is too small for those who can do it. Yeah, these are. Or even perfume, normal perfume, you can spray. I've seen incidents where somebody wants to rape somebody or attack them to steal. They just send their hand into their handbag, get their spray, perfume, and spray it into the guy's eye, and then the guy just disappeared into thin air.
Oh, he has the spray fin.
Non, mais je pense qu'au Cameroun, on n'est pas vraiment prêt.
Yeah, we are not ready. We are not ready because it's always very dangerous or risky, because these guys always have sophisticated weapons. Yeah.
By the time you know, the child will pepperish.
So if we give our children cell phones in case of any harm or danger, they can call us.
Cell phones when they are going to sell, it's like
No.
calling more
Cell
abuse
phones.
on
I'm
them.
not talking of Android phone.
No, even if it's Choronko.
If it's a thief, even if it's Choronko, you see somebody, they beat somebody because the person has stolen a pen.
Yeah.
Then what about a person sees a kid
A kid with a
Et puis
cell
le plus
phone.
souvent, même l'enfant, quelle est la probabilité que l'enfant là, aura même le temps peut-être d'alerter son parent avec son téléphone si peut-être quelque chose lui arrive.
arrive.
Quelle est la probabilité? Parce que généralement les bandits viennent seulement. Tu n'as même pas le temps de prendre ton téléphone.
No, but I think it's not
In this
it's not a
our
bad
community.
it's not a bad option. Imagine you finding yourself in a situation where you can call and inform somebody that this is what has happened to me. It could be an accident or anything. Yeah, it could be an accident. I don't know, whatever it could be. Maybe a fire incident. You could get caught in a fire incident, a shock or whatever. And you can call your mother or your father.
Help work that she was doing help work inside.
No, that's something
It is
else.
secure.
Yeah.
I prefer
Totally.
that parents should look for a way
Secured,
that's secure for
yeah,
their children.
holiday
Don't
jobs.
take any risk that you cannot handle.
Exactly.
A child is
Mais n'oubliez
cannot
pas
possibly handle
n'oubliez
itself.
pas aussi que le plus souvent les enfants font ce que leurs parents, ils imitent leurs parents.
Yeah, and even when the
Vous parlez,
parents
vous
say
étiez en train
no,
de
they
parler des enfants de
insist.
Makénéné par exemple.
Ouais.
Les enfants là, leurs parents aussi sont parmi. C'est
Ouais.
pas comme si le parent envoie que vas-y, vends. Le
Yeah,
parent
they
aussi
are-
est
they
là.
are-
Non, il
they
est
are
là,
there
il
sometimes.
il suit son parent.
Yeah. Or sometimes they are in the farm and then the child is there on the highway. You don't know what could happen. And those days, like she's saying, were safer.
Compare those days and what is happening now. In those days, you could give a child a tray and the child successfully finishes everything right and comes home safe. But today, you give a child a tray and just stepping out, you start seeing Judases and hawks trying to prey on that child. So it's really two different worlds. Those
Alright.
days and
No, I'm not even
this
talking about.
century,
I'm
it's
talking
really-
about. Somebody was talking about Makénéné.
Yes, I am the one who's mentioned that on the highway.
And young
Yeah.
friends and people like that. Those
Yeah.
their days.
Yeah, I was emphasizing.
the grandmother and make him to
I
have
was
money.
emphasizing on the fact that when you listen, I was emphasizing on the
Sorry.
fact that when you listen to success stories, most often they always tell you, this person was
Yeah.
selling this person was selling that. So even today, people who are succeeding now, they'll tell you, even our generation, they'll tell you that they used to sell. In those
Yeah,
days. So,
Because of what? They had the on appelle ça comment?
The grace.
Non, pas la grâce. Ils ont gagné
foundation.
comment
Yeah.
maximiser
Ouais.
quand tu as l'argent.
Yeah,
Comment
how to
maximiser.
save.
Ils ont appris, ils ont
Save
acquis
and
cette
invest.
connaissance-là de comment travailler avec l'argent pour que ce soit, pour que ça se maximise et que ça
Yeah,
crée le profit.
that's true.
Mais ce n'est pas les arachides là qui ont fait en
And
sorte
that is until when an evil will happen to you or your child that you get to understand
Yeah.
what we are trying to communicate here.
Yeah.
Okay, you could sell all your life and nothing will happen to you or to your own children, but another person's child, the first day they go or 2-3 days later, you hear touchy stories. please. Please, so we don't want it to happen to anybody. That's why we are fighting against that. Please take risks that you can handle, please, parents. All right, let's move on to something else. I'll swiftly give you our coronavirus update, and today we're focusing on Cameroon and the world at large. So let's give you updates concerning Cameroon, because we have more deaths recorded from last week till today. 81,467 persons have so far contracted the virus, and 1,330 deaths have been recorded, and those who have recovered, 78,224. From last we were counting 1,300 and I think 24 cases of deaths, but today you can see how the numbers have increased. While around the world, so far, 191,265,853 cases have been recorded. It's really getting serious, and we should be careful. The number of deaths are at 4,106,672, and those who have recovered, we have 174,211,667. So I urge you all to respect all barrier measures against COVID-19, so together we can kick the pandemic out. It's time for us to chit chat. On the first slot for today is gossip with Gladys Bomotangina. Stay with us.
Bon retour à vous sur le plateau de In the House. C'est le moment de Congossa. Ah oui, c'est le moment de faire le gossip. Alors, je sais pas, peut-être que les hommes aussi doivent se lancer dans la... On appelle ça comment? La kayamataisation. Hein? La kayamataisation. Voilà. Parce que ce monsieur, il a vécu avec sa femme pendant 13 ans, je crois, oui, 13 ans de mariage. Ils ont eu 2 enfants. Et il a décidé d'envoyer sa femme en Europe. Okay. Voilà, il a décidé d'envoyer sa femme en Europe. Et sa femme étant en Europe, lui, il est au pays avec les enfants. Okay. Donc, il y a 3 mois de cela, il devait aller retrouver sa femme avec les enfants. Et il communiquait bien. La femme n'a laissé entrevoir aucun signe de problème et tout, jusqu'à ce qu'il arrive là-bas, en Angleterre, et qu'il se rende compte que sa femme a un bébé de 3 mois même. Donc, sa femme... Is the baby white or is the baby métis? Eileen. Why?
So that we should know the fact that you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know if the baby is white or the baby is black, but I know is that she had a baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oga, madam. You did well, though. You really did well.
So, whether men should start also climatizing you.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's absurd. Women, you people are disgracing also. When you're married now. She be which one be picking you go born away? You are Ogasa on another doof. Yes. Because how can you explain that?
But elle a trompé son mari.
C'est ce que j'ai dit, non? Oui. Qu'elle a fait l'amour avec une autre personne. Pourquoi elle a... This is betrayal of the highest degree.
C'est fou ce que l'infidélité est devenue tellement banale.
It's terrible.
Tu vois une femme qui trompe son mari comme ça.
C'est naturellement.
C'est comme si c'est normal.
Yeah.
Tu vois un homme qui trompe sa femme, c'est comme si c'est normal. Moi, je m'interroge vraiment sur notre société, honnêtement.
You meet people in very, very happy relationships, very comfortable relationships. Like you have everything, love, attention, and everything. But just within seconds, you still find a person cheating on the partner. I'm like, what went wrong? Like, what is this person not even giving you? Because people have almost everything.
Yeah.
Look at some people, Aline, they have almost everything. They have financial stability. The man is very concerned. He takes care of them like from scratch. But you still find the woman's...
Mais il y a quelque chose.
And this man sent this woman abroad. Can you imagine?
Il y a quelque chose.
Travel together.
Le plus souvent, les signes ne mentent pas.
Yeah.
Le plus souvent, il y a tellement de personnes qui, lorsque elles sont amoureuses, elles décident de ne pas voir ce qui est clair, ce qui est évident.
Mm-hmm.
Elles se disent que non, telle personne, ma partenaire avec qui je suis, elle m'aime aussi. C'est toi qui es amoureux. Toi, tu crois que l'autre est aussi
Is also in love, but they are not.
Alors que les signes sont
unfortunate.
tellement clairs. Tu appelles peut-être la go, elle n'est pas trop avec toi.
Ouais.
Tu lui écris, elle n'est pas trop avec toi. Il y a des signes qui ne mentent pas.
Yeah.
Gladys, même quand c'est ta femme, il y a des signes qui ne montrent pas que ta femme, si là, non, elle n'est plus
She
avec
has
toi, elle a
changed.
changé.
Yeah. It's
Raison de
really
plus même encore.
it's really hurtful because they work together. He sent her abroad, and then now how does this man stand
How
rise
does
from
it
this
start
situation? It's
That's
really
the thing.
hard, but we can only advise that you seek the face of the Lord in situations like this. If it's your wife and you still love her, there is still a possibility you can forgive. As a woman picking the bring picking for inside house, it's
But
true
men
that
don't do that.
it's a woman will always be a woman, and you should not be the one to do this. But let's look at the facts. Let's look at the situation. She is also a human being. Can you also accept this woman and the child and let you guys just continue, because you have put in so much in the relationship than to lose.
Most people travel out there, most guys travel out there, and they end up having kids with white ladies in order to have documents.
Documents.
Maybe she went there and things were really difficult,
No.
and she had to. she had to.
Okay,
No problem.
okay. It's just sin of the flesh.
Quand
Once
toi,
more.
l'homme, tu décides d'envoyer ta femme en avant, comme je te dis que, ok, vas-y, va en bain. C'est pourquoi? C'était pourquoi?
Tu mets la pression qu'elle va aussi voyager. Elle va aller en bain.
You should travel
Pour combien de
together.
temps,
You should
justement,
travel
pour combien de temps il
together.
a envoyé? Si c'est pour les vacances, je peux comprendre.
It's
Mais
risky.
ok, tu as envoyé comme ça là.
Even when you marry, you leave your wife here and you go abroad. What are you going to do? Do you know what is going to happen
en fait.
to her or to you over there? These things will always happen.
Parce qu'à un moment, justement, la
Quickly,
vie est difficile,
yeah.
ça devient difficile là-bas même pour elle, la pression et tout. Peut-être elle est obligée de s'adonner à certains
Ah ouais.
actes. On a vu dernièrement un gars qui est, je sais pas si c'était à In the House, vous étiez en train de parler de ça, un jeune garçon qui a trouvé, qui se rend compte finalement que l'enfant qu'il a, c'était pas son enfant.
Yeah, we talked about
What
it
if-
here. Anyways, let's take a commercial break. We'll come back. The program continues.
My Black Crown, MBC. We deal in the sales and delivery of top quality American products and accessories for all natural hair care needs. For nappy hair, we sell products and brands such as Ant Jackies, Shea Moisture, Miel Organic, TGIN, Wild Growth Hair Oil, The Manny Choice, Carl's Daughter, As I Am, Tontu, and many more. From shampoos, conditioners, treatment masks, moisturizing butter creams, oils, gels, accessories such as butterfly clamps, perm rods, bonnets, detangling brushes, and many more. My Black Crown, MBC. Our professionalism and experience speaks for itself. The best relationship between price and quality for all classes of the society. Contact WhatsApp 671 12 96 39. Facebook My Black Crown MBC. Instagram My Black Crown MBC. My Black Crown MBC. For the love of our heritage. BT Media is getting better, going further with clearer images. Our channels, My Media Prime, My Movie Africa, French and English, My Music Africa, My Gospel Africa, Real Black 1 and 2 will be upgrading on ENMA 17 with frequency 12,333, symbol rate 30,000 on a vertical polarity 17 degrees east. This is to satisfy our consumers who watch our channels for information, entertainment, and education. BT Media Group, building the future.
Yeah, welcome back to the studio, and it's time for us to take more reactions. Yes, so we are talking about children as they go about to hug during the holidays and the rise in, abuse. Yes, children get abused by the day, every day, and now we are exposing them during holidays. Is it really necessary for them to go out there and hug? That's what we are asking. All right, let's get this reaction. It says, good morning, Eileen, and all the beautiful damsel on board. For a child to hawk isn't a bad thing once certain parameters are considered. You say, the age of the child. Many people are successful today because they were able to sponsor themselves via hawking. Truth be told, it's dangerous to expose children, but children are still abused, right, in their houses and at school. That's true. You add by saying also what they sell as produce or product matter, and sensitization equally matters. Most people have learned business from hawking, and others, you say, are old and want to do business, yet they are ashamed because they haven't inculcated the art of business. In as much as we are protecting the well-being of our children, we shouldn't see evil in all things because some have succeeded via this art. We simply need to be more cautious. Yvette from Douala. Thank you very much. I think you've raised pertinent points there, most about everything that our ladies have said here. So hawking is not a bad thing, but the dangers, the risks involved in it is what matters. And like we keep saying, the age that we let our children to go out there and hawk also matters. So think about that, parents. All right. All right, we have someone writing us from Boya to say hello to you, sir. Hope you're doing fine. This is Monday, very first day of the weekdays. All right, let's get more reactions. All right. Please, we are in Africa and we best understand how the society is structured. This is God. Yes, that's right, God. But we have to consider as well the risk factors involved in our society. Should we let go of the safety of our kids because our society has become tough, life has become difficult? These children who are supposed to be our walking stick, as we call them for pidgin, Namawaka stick, this, if you expose these children to dangers, tomorrow they might not be there to cater for you as an elderly person. So let's always think twice about the risk factors involved, the advantages, which one outweighs the others. Then we can put that on a scale and take a decision as a parent will normally do. All right, this one says, hello, Eileen. The name is Eileen, not Irene, and all the damsels in the house. This is Miranda from Kumba. With regards to sending children to hawk during the long vacation or holiday, it's truly heartbreaking how children are suffering out there from abuses. I also think there are some families who depend fully on business and cannot help out, but engage children in hawking. Personally, the way out is for parents to raise awareness on sexual assault to the children and also ensure that they are up to 18. If not, they should have a fixed selling point, which is open and safe. Thank you very much, Miranda. You make a lot of sense there. And talking about sexual abuse to children, it's very, very important. A child may not know that a man touching her boobs or her private part or caressing her is child abuse, especially when these abusers make them to swear. Yes, some of them would tell them to swear on Bibles, threaten them and say, I'm going to kill you or you will die if you tell any person about this. Let's educate our children to know what child abuse really is. A child may go out there, they are molested or assaulted. Sometimes maybe they're even raped. They come back home and they cannot even tell you, the parents, because they don't even know what sexual abuse is. And because these abusers take advantage that they are kids and make them swear, threaten their lives and all of that, when they get abused, they will not tell you, the parents. So I think education is key if we have to combat sexual abuse during holidays or even after, involving our children. All right, let's get into the kitchen today. We have something savoring. Desmond, take us to the kitchen. All right, today for our delicacy, it's lunchtime already on In the House. And yes, so we are getting into the kitchen today to cook something really, really delicious. Oh yes, I want to hail our Bakwere brothers and sisters out there. It's one meal that I am so much in love with, and I love to make it as well from time to time. I'm talking about Kwakoko Bible. Yes, that's what we are preparing this beautiful day. And yes, we'll definitely want you to try this at home. For those of you who have never prepared it, like Gladys Bomotongina, but who loves it, you need these items and ingredients to make your Kwakoko Bible. And there's a difference between Kwakoko and Kwakoko Bible. Okay, so we'll educate you on that. So you need your Makabokoko there. I'll advise you to get more of the red one, okay, and not the white. Yes, more of the red one, because the red one will make it hard and come out, dry. Yes, it will make it more, savory. All right, you need your smoked fish. Some people will also put meat too. Yes, they put meat for inside Kwakoko Bible. You need your smoked fish. You need your njanga, or call it crayfish. Oh yes, you need pepper to make it taste. And most importantly, you need your plantain leaves, or the other leaves to wrap, but we'll go for plantain leaves. This is how it is traditionally done. So we start by peeling our makabo cocoyams, that's how we call it. Take your time to clean it, get all the dark spots from them. After you must have cleaned it or peeled it, you wash them properly, put them on a strainer so all the water drains. When the water has drained properly, okay, grating it is going to be very easy. Yes, when you do it the traditional way, you grate that, there are more advantages because it will come out more fluffy, it come out thick. The taste is just going to be different than when you take it to the machine to grind. So we are beating out laziness from everybody's body today. All right, there's one important thing that we left out, or let me say two important things: our red oil and our cocoa leaf. Yes, the red oil is warmed. Yes, that's it right there. You warm the red oil a little bit. You don't bleach. No, you just warm. Some people will not even warm, they'll just use it as it is, but I'll advise you warm a little so you don't have any clothing in your kwakoko. Then you mix the paste, with your kwakoko, with your cocoa leaves, I beg your pardon, already shredded into pieces or sliced. You mix them into the paste. You add your little bit of salt, a little bit of Maggi. If it's too dry, yes, because if you're using just the red cocoa, you need to add a little bit of water to make it a little bit wet. Yeah, you can go with both cocoyams, the red and the white one, so that it gives you that balance. So you mix in everything: your salt, your Maggi, your crayfish, your dry fish. For those who are adding meat, making it very modern these days, you mix everything together, blend until you get a smooth paste like this, what you find there in the bowl with the red oil already there. All right, you can keep that aside. You move on now to the leaves. You clean them properly. You warm on the fire, so that it should really be soft. Some people will not warm their leaves. It's very important you warm your leaves on the fire. After you've warmed your leaves, you definitely scoop, use a spoon to scoop a good quantity of it, and then you place very carefully on the leaves. Place very carefully so that the leaves doesn't tear. I'll advise you double your leaves. When you put just a single leaf, it can easily tear, and then your paste will definitely pop out. That's not nice, and it will mess up everything. So double your leaves, then you put your paste inside, then you wrap carefully. Before you put it on the fire, your pot is there. You might put some more leaves or stems of the leaves, the cocoa leaves, so that it supports your pot, the plantain leaf. You support your pot with it, then you place it gently in the pot. When the cocoa has started boiling, there's this aroma that will come out to hit you, and then you will know that it's getting there. But you must allow it to boil for at least 45 minutes if the quantity is small. But if you have a very big pot of cocoa, you go for 1 hour. Yes, let it be properly cooked, and when it's ready, you realize that the leaves are indeed brown. You can just remove one to taste. If not, you put it back. Because me, when hungry don't knock me, I remove and will test, I will see what I don't do. And then after an hour, 45 minutes, if you're doing with just small paste, that's how your cocoa Bible looks like. Yeah. Then you can go the extra mile to prepare your kanda sauce. Yeah, that's what accompanies it. That's the skin of a cow. You prepare your kanda sauce with plenty tomato, onion, pepper, and all that. Bakore people, when I get to give me small, I don't know, for selling your meal. Yes, Audrey.
It's only at BT Media that I came to know that they eat this thing with kanda sauce.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that they were just eating it like that. Like,
Yeah. No, but when I prepare it at home, most often than not, we eat it just like that. It can go like that perfectly. But if you want some obstacles, it's a kanda sauce. It's not meat sauce. So kanda sauce is what goes with the cocoa. Quinta, you and that fufu challenge. So this is typically eaten by the Bakore people. Yeah, but in Cameroon, we all we love cocoa Bible.
That's right. Jesus Christ.
Enjoy your meal. You can try this recipe. It's quite easy. Yeah, once you have your cocoyams already grated, you don't have any minutes to spend in the kitchen. It's quite easy and very, very affordable. So this is a very delicious meal eaten by most Southwesterners, and almost all of Cameroon now is into cocoa Bible. All right, let's get more reactions before we conclude the program. This person says, for me, it's necessary, but it depends on the age. For example, please, if the child is not up to 18, please, parents, you shouldn't send them out there. All right, that means they are still minors, right? So let's avoid touchy stories. It's very important. You didn't sign your message, but I just want to say thank you to you for that reaction. Let's check if we have more messages on our WhatsApp forum. Yes, we have one here. All right, I think it's more of a worry. We'll attend to you shortly, but with no more messages to take, Gladys, I want you to give the final words concerning today's topic of discussion. Yes, especially to parents once more, and these children who feel left out when they are not given the chance to sell or to hawk around during holidays, and they feel like they have been left out.
On a ces enfants-là qui ont déjà naturellement le besoin du business. C'est déjà naturellement en eux. On ne doit pas tuer ça. Comme j'ai dit, c'est plus sécurisant de laisser ces enfants-là s'exprimer, mais toujours dans un lieu qui est sécurisé, c'est-à-dire à la maison. Moi j'ai eu certains de mes camarades de classe qui ont vendu des bonbons en classe. C'était toujours du commerce, ça passait. Du profit.
I used to envy that also, Gladys.
Voilà, elles vendaient des bonbons, des bons cas et tout ça. Ça leur permettait toujours de faire du profit et tout ça. Moi, j'ai une camarade qui, carrément, elle était devenue le business de leur maison. Parce qu'elle vendait les croquettes mélangées avec les caramels. Et ça passait tellement que même les enseignants achetaient. Donc du coup, ça c'est devenu un grand business que, et elle le faisait simplement là à l'école. Donc c'est possible de faire ce genre de business même toujours chez toi. Quand c'est bien fait, les gens vont chercher, les gens vont toujours venir acheter. Donc c'est très important de protéger nos enfants. C'est vrai que on cherche l'argent, mais on peut avoir cet argent-là sans toutefois faire souffrir le corps. On a l'habitude de dire que le corps souffre quand le cerveau ne travaille pas. Alors, si tu fais bouger un peu plus tes méninges, tu vas te rendre compte que tu vas trouver des solutions un peu plus appropriées qui vont protéger tes enfants et qui vont te protéger toi-même et toujours vont te permettre de faire le profit. Parce qu'il ne faudrait pas oublier que lorsque ces enfants sont heurtés par après, c'est toujours nous les parents qui dépensons. Et si tu vas regarder sur le montant d'argent que tu dépenses lorsque l'enfant a un incident, tu te rendras compte que c'est plus élevé que le profit que l'enfant faisait. Donc, on a l'habitude de dire en safety management qu'il faut identifier les risques. Est-ce que ce risque-là est, nécessaire? Est-ce que ce risque est nécessaire? Et si ce risque-là est nécessaire, comment est-ce qu'il faut faire pour protéger et permettre que l'enfant ne se retrouve pas dans un accident? Parce que c'est ça le plus important. Éviter que l'enfant ne se retrouve pas dans un accident.
Exactement. Ou bien dans un abuse sexuel. Okay, before we go, let's celebrate some great person, a great woman, a great mother. I'm talking about Ma Frida Sama. Yeah, that's my grandmother. Yeah, she's celebrating her 89th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, and this picture was taken on Sunday, so that's to tell you how solid and strong she still is.
Ellen, you're really lucky.
Oh,
to
yeah.
have your grandma.
So, Grandma, I was partly raised by her. I want to say thank you for raising a fine woman. I want to wish you the best as you celebrate your 89th birthday. It's not given to
She's really
anybody,
young.
so
She's strong.
happy birthday.
She's young for a grandma.
For a granny.
My grandmother died in 104 years. She was 104. Just imagine, depuis je faisais 6e. But your grandma is 80.
89. Yeah.
Wow.
So more life to you and all the best. May God keep you longer. Eh? Yes. Just keep living. All right. Want to say thank you to the girls. Thank you, Audrey Zatsa. Thank you, Fon Quinta. Thank you, Gladys Bomotongina. The crew behind the camera, Abril, Mancho, Desmond. You all are doing an amazing job. So we have quality images. And to our bosses, thank you very much for giving us this platform to bring that change we want in our society. We can't do it without your help. And thank you to you all who sent your reactions, you all who viewed the program silently at home. Together we can. Stay tuned to more amazing programs coming up on My Media Prime Television. Country News is up next. Do not move from muscle. Ciao, ciao. See you tomorrow, God willing.